Am I the asshole for no longer inviting my brother to my house? Last weekend I had a small get-together for immediate family only, they are in our social bubble, for my son's birthday. My brother brought my nephew, 8 male, to my house. He has a history of being destructive to people's homes, and my brother and Sil do not discipline him. According to them, he just doesn't listen, so they just give him what he wants. This is not the first time my nephew has destroyed my house, or other relatives for that matter, and I finally had enough. The last time they were over, my son, 17 male, him mistreating our cat. After they left and saw that he dumped out all of our soap and shampoo in the bathroom on the floor when my daughter, 15 female, slipped on the tiles. This last visit he drew all over a brand new couch with the markers Sil brought for him to color with. I had asked her to not let him color on the couch, instead he should color at the kitchen table so it could be washed off. When I confronted my Sil about it, she told me, "It's just a couch, you can get slip covers." I told her that wasn't the point, that once again he has come to my house and destroyed something, and I was tired of having to pay to replace the things he destroyed. My brother intervened and said that I was being overdramatic and that he was just a kid. I told my brother that they needed to leave. The next day I called him and told him that they weren't welcome back into my house and that they could either pay for someone to come clean the couch or for the cost of a replacement. My brother told me that it was never going to happen. An hour later I get a call from my other sister who congratulated me for sticking to my guns, and she plans to do the same. My mom got wind of this and called me and told me that I was being out of line and that nephew doesn't mean to do this and that it was an accident. That according to Sil you can barely see it and I was just trying to get a free couch. So I sent my mom a picture of the doodles on my couch that nephew made. She now agrees my brother should absolutely pay to clean the couch or replace it, but that I am going too far by banning them from my home. I told her I disagreed and that he can always go to her house and destroy her stuff if she wants to see us all together. Am I the asshole for not inviting them to my house anymore?
Not the asshole. AITA's old enough to know better than to draw on furniture. That's something I'd expect from a 4-year-old.
NTA, you are doing the right thing and it's in your nephew's best interests that you take this stance. Your brother and Sil are trying to parent the easiest way for them. If more people would join you in this, maybe it would spur your brother and Sil into actually raising their son. They are letting him run feral and that could harm your nephew for life.
Your nephew is the asshole. It's like your brother and sister-in-law rubbed their assholes together and made a bigger asshole. YA, not the asshole H. Years ago my sister came into town with her little monsters. My wife had enough when they were rubbing their hands across our fridge, knocking off all the magnets and child art. She laid into them like they were her own kids. Had them in line real quick. My sister must have been numb to their antics. She suddenly started keeping a closer eye on her sons. I predict bad things for your nephew. Stay strong. Your brother is betraying a family trust by not respecting your home. Document all future encounters. They sound like they are not above trying to turn your mother against you. Oh, and we want to see the pictures. Edit, typo.
Not the asshole. Accidents are one thing, but the incidents you're describing seem pretty deliberate and like they could be prevented with better parental supervision.
My brother intervened and said that I was being overdramatic and that he was just a kid. Normal 8-yos know that it's not okay to color on someone else's couch. Hell, my daughter has more or less learned this lesson, and she's 2. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, that kid is way too old not to know right from wrong and your brother is a spineless douche. Also, my son, 17 male, him mistreating our cat. I've watched enough Netflix serial killer stuff to know he's gonna grow up to wear people's skin. Not the asshole. You shouldn't have to deal with property damage every time you get a visit from your entitled brother and his entitled family. Not the asshole. Hold your ground and send them the bill ASAP. Take it to small claims if you must. That kid needs to start being disciplined. H is 8 and acts like a monster. His parents need to wake up and parent him. I would have kicked him out the second time he destroyed something and billed for it.
Not the asshole. It really isn't acceptable for a kid that is 8 years old to be destroying things like that. Seems pretty rude and disrespectful that brother wouldn't even discipline his kid or offer to pay for destroyed stuff. Also, the fact that the kid was mistreating the cat is a big red flag, and honestly protect pets and house before anything else. Daughter slipped and could have gotten really injured from what this kid did. Don't let them back in the house. It really seems like brother and his wife have no regard for anyone else and are very entitled. That I am going too far by banning them from my home. I told her I disagreed and that he can always go to her house and destroy her stuff if she wants to see us all together. Brava, op. If grandma does not feel this behavior is a problem, she can host the not problem behavior where hers is the property in jeopardy. You did not refuse to be around your brother and his family, just to no longer offer your home and pets for disrespect and abuse. And good sister for backing you. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole, but not enough people are talking about the fact that OP's son found the nephew mistreating the cat. That's worrisome, especially at his age. Not the asshole. I wouldn't allow my dogs to behave like this, let alone a child. What kind of human are they raising?
Not the asshole. Your nephew is too young to be left at home and your brother and Sil are facing the consequences for not watching their kid at your home. It's not he's a toddler.
Not the asshole. Get the couch cleaned, and send an invoice to your brother with a payment due date with notice of fees and interest. If due date is missed, there's templates for this all over. If the payment is missed, send a late notice to him with the penalties and interest. Keep copies for yourself and send the invoices via certified mail. Once he refuses to pay, file a small claims suit. Sometimes the only way people learn is to pay the financial and social costs for their actions, inactions. They are legally responsible for their child, and their negligence has led to the destruction of property and personal injury.
Why even post this here? WTF? Are people really so unsure of themselves they need to hear strangers' opinions of their actions even in situations as black and white as this? Or is it just an opportunity to have your decisions validated?
I told her I disagreed and that he can always go to her house and destroy her stuff if she wants to see us all together. Lul, this is brilliant. This is how people need to handle family members who inevitably try to guilt you into acquiescing. If it's going too far by banning them from my home, then she can easily host everyone at her place and watch all her possession be destroyed, accidentally. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. It's your house and your stuff. If the kid was a toddler, sure, but he's 8. He should know better and so should they. Now I'd still say it's important you try to keep a connection with them. Go to the movies together, hang at the park, spend a day at the beach, when things are more safe of course. Just not at your place. It was not an accident. It's what he's been taught to do. Which is why the only thing you can do is refuse to host them. Not the asshole. I'm sorry, but this sub is getting out of hand. Either this is fake, or you are an idiot op. You are not anywhere in the ballpark of being the asshole, or the same universe for that matter. Why does this have 8K upvotes?
Not the asshole. 8. And he colored on a couch. H is too old to be that destructive, he knows it's wrong but he doesn't care because he is never punished. They absolutely owe you for a new couch or cleaning and stick to it.
Not the asshole. It's amazing that you let these people into your house at all. That poor child desperately needs help, though, and he's obviously not going to get it from his parents or your mother.
This sub is a joke.
NTA, your nephew is old enough to know he shouldn't write on furniture and destroy people's stuff. I would expect this from a toddler, drawing on the couch, not an 8 years old. Your child could have gotten badly hurt when they slip on the titles because of the mess your nephew did. Stand your ground. You have every right to not want your house destroyed. Even your own sister is doing the same, so clearly she too feels the same way. If your brother is okay with his own stuff and home being destroyed, that's fine, but he can't expect others to be okay with it. Like you said, if your mom wants to have all of her children and grandkids under the same roof, then you all can go over to her house instead. You're not the asshole here.
Not the asshole. Your nephew clearly has behavioral issues that are unaddressed by his parents, and you are not his parent, therefore you really can't step in without mom and dad being upset. You have done the only thing short of an intervention for the parents of that child. Your cat has been abused, your children hurt, and your property damaged. Nobody should blame you for banning them. That child needs help, and hopefully this is a wake-up call to his parents.
Not the asshole. They should get used to being social outcasts. Not the asshole. Your brother and Sil need a wake-up call. They can't keep not imposing discipline and expecting your nephew's behavioral problems to magically disappear. Boundaries clearly need to be enforced, and until your brother and Sil begin doing that, you should absolutely establish some of your own in order to protect your family and your belongings. Maybe in a couple of weeks when tempers aren't as high you could try to calmly explain to them that your house won't be the last place your nephew will be banned from if they don't intervene soon.
Not the asshole, since it sounds like their condition for visiting other people's homes is that they'll let their 8-year-old do whatever the fuck he wants, then people on the other side get to say no to that agreement. I don't condone child abuse, but on occasion can certainly understand it. The kid needs his ass whipped. Period. Edit, for judgment, not the asshole. My daughter used to do that on the wall, and both only drawings but also lipstick, so you gave her a brush and paint and asked her to cover them up. She was about 6 and was in the middle if summer with temperatures if 28 to 30 degrees C. After about 20 to 30 minutes a lesson was learned and she stopped. Action should have consequence, and you quote Dr. Phil, bad behavior should not be rewarded.
Of course the child doesn't listen now because his parents never made him listen when he was younger. You can't wait to discipline a child when he is old, you have to start young and consistently reinforce good behavior. Does your brother think that the schools are going to be saying, "Oh, he's just a kid so we'll let it go"? Do you think his classmates will want to be friends with him when he destroys their property? There will be consequences for his behavior at some point. It's better that his family teach them to him than the outside world.
You are not the asshole, but your brother and Sil Shaw are for not actually parenting their child. He will quickly find himself unpopular at his friend's house if he is just as destructive everywhere else. We had a neighborhood kid who was destructive and he eventually ended up in UV. Actions have consequences. Your nephew is banned because his parents failed to teach him good manners. It says a lot that your sister wants to ban the kid from her house as well. I would ban you brother and Sil as well. They show no respect for you, your family and your home.
Not the asshole. I don't understand why you didn't stick it to the little brat sooner, op. Many people would have been all over him like a fly on shit after the first episode. I suspect that you were raised to be a nice woman, as most of us were. Perhaps other people walk on you sometimes, too, and you are just used to being nice. You don't have to put up with this anymore, op. It is not bad manners to stop others from using you and your possessions.
I almost want to say YTA for not banning him the moment he mistreated your cat. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Shitty parents raise shitty kids. Not surprised they don't want to take action, it's behavior they enabled.
Not the asshole, but what the hell is going on that you can't just tell him off for trashing your property? A justified telling off from a non-parent has a lot more impact than from a parent in my experience. You are the asshole for letting them back into your house after the kid hurt your cat with zero consequences. Fuck your stupid couch. What about your animal?
Not the asshole. That child is costing you a lot of money and could one day get someone killed. Fuck anyone who tells you you're the asshole. It's very obvious your nephew is just a dick.
Easiest not the asshole ever. This kid hurt your cat. He tried to hurt your daughter. He destroyed your property. The parents take no responsibility. I would have banned them for hurting my pet. Keep those monsters and their little serial killer in the making away from your family. They're dangerous.
Not the asshole. Someone needs to talk to your brother and Sil and explain to them how harmful their horrible parenting is going to be to your nephew in the long run. I can't imagine what he's going to be like when he's older, or who would ever want to be his friend, girlfriend when the time comes. Poor kid is going to be ruined by this horrible parenting.
My butt stings thinking about what my mom would have done to me if I did that. Jesus, not the asshole.
Not the asshole. You aren't even cutting him off, which might make life harder on others to balance seeing you both for special occasions, just choosing not to host them. People should be thankful you are being so reasonable while dealing with unreasonable people.
I have a son and I feel like I could die of embarrassment when he so much as spills something from his cup or plate when we're visiting someone. I wonder what goes on in those parents' heads. They're raising a psychopath and you'd do well to keep the hell away. Not the asshole.
8 is more than old enough to understand rules and boundaries. Honestly, I would call social on them because kids like that are the type that grow up to be thugs, murderers and rapists.
I'm sorry but the nephew is 8, that is old enough to know not to draw on furniture and act out like that. He's probably deliberately being destructive to try and get a reaction out of his parents because they don't discipline him. He's probably thinking how far he can push them. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. You are not being overdramatic. It is not just a couch. I actually gasped when I read that part. Stay strong. Mom is welcome to have the entire family over to her house whenever get-togethers are needed.
Not the asshole. Don't have any of them over anymore. If your parents are hellbent on including Demon Seed, they can host. Or, even better, let brother host. See how they live. In fear.
Not the asshole. I understand why. My kids sometimes when they are bored get a little crazy, mainly being noisy and running, jumping around. They've never destroyed people's property though. If they ever did, common sense would be that I am the parent and I should not only pay for this, but discipline them. Good for you for sticking up for yourself. Also please remind your bro and Sil that teaching a child something takes time and it doesn't work right away, but if you keep it he'll figure it out. Because I feel like if they don't start now and this kid keeps going he'll either end up an entitled spoiled brat who gets what he wants and doesn't care, or worse, a criminal.
Not the asshole. I hope that nephew breaks something precious to your mom so she stops acting like you're being unreasonable. Sadly it takes someone feeling your precise pain to make them stop badgering you to tolerate it. Keep them out and tell them that they shouldn't be surprised if nobody wants to do play dates with the little terror.
Excusing bad, destructive behavior only encourages more of that behavior. They're clearly refusing to parent a child with some sort of behavioral issues, and anyone sticking up for them, and the son by extension, is absolutely part of the problem. Stand up for yourself, and break the cycle. Edit, 100% not the asshole.
8 years old. I knew kids smart enough to read Lord of the Rings by that age. That's unacceptably old for that behavior. They just won't accept that they're not parenting him right. Not the asshole.